aside from the fact that I knew that this was filmed in Schenectady, I knew nothing about this movie, like nothing at all, but my boss was like, you should really check it out. So he lent it to me, and I watched it this morning. And it's a really interesting story, and I'm excited to talk about it. For those of you who have not seen this movie, I think this will benefit you, which is not what my reviews tend to do, I think. My reviews tend to kind of adhere to people who have already seen the films, but this one I think I can explain in a way that will make you understand my thoughts on the film without you having to see the film. Like, that's kind of how cool I think this movie is in terms of its genericness, but also its specificness. It's kind of cool. Anyway, we're talking about The Place Beyond the Pines. The Place Beyond the Pines was released in 2012. It was written by Derek Cianfrance and Ben Cuccio and Darius Marder, which is a lot of writers, and directed by Derek Cianfrance. The general idea of the film, no spoilers, is that... how do I explain this? Ryan Gosling's character is in love with Eva Mendes' character, but they're not together. She's with somebody else, and then she has a kid with him, with Ryan Gosling. Ryan Gosling wants to help the child, so he goes to help the child and be a father and tries to be an actual good father, although he also robs banks on the side so he has more money, as one does. And then Bradley Cooper's character comes in and he kills him because there was a dispute, essentially, with a robbery that happened, and then he gets in this, it's complicated. He ends up dying, and Bradley Cooper takes over the story. And then Bradley Cooper is raising his own child, and he's trying to become the defense attorney, district attorney. And then we pass the story over to the kids. When it's years later, we have Ryan Gosling's kid, and we have Bradley Cooper's kid, who meet each other, and they learn about what their fathers had done, and it's about them carrying out what happened before, but it's also about the future. It's about what can happen in the future. It's about learning that there can be a place where you don't have to necessarily follow in your father's footsteps, but also, it always ends up happening that way, which is exactly what this movie shows. I think that's really cool. One thing that I really appreciate about the film is the fact that it goes into that kind of weird mode that no one really realizes, I think, if you watch the movie without really analytically watching it, is that it really does show how much your parents have an influence on you. Like, Dane DeHaan's character, who plays Ryan Gosling's kid, has no real reason to want to harm the district attorney, except that his father did. And it shows that in the end, kind of, in a really cool way, where he's like, you know what? I realize that you did this to my father, but I also realize that it's not my problem anymore. I realize that it's not necessarily on purpose. You feel bad about it, and also, why am I trying to avenge my father? I don't even know him. I don't even know if he's a good guy. And it's this cool question of morals, which is why I think Dane DeHaan's character, Jason, is probably my favorite character in the film. I relate to him a little bit, and I think that he's a really cool kind of in-between character. But I gotta talk about the way that I watch this film, which is straight through. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes. I watched it straight through, which I don't normally have time to do, but this morning I did, so I watched it straight through. And at about the half-hour mark, I was like, okay, I kind of see where this movie's going. I kind of see where it's going. And then I was like, wait a second. We have not seen Bradley Cooper yet at all, and he's the second billed character. And I was like, what? Like, how have we not seen Bradley Cooper yet? And then at 48 minutes, something like that, Bradley Cooper shows up, and I'm like, what? We're almost halfway through the film before our second main character comes in. And then he eliminates Ryan Gosling from the picture forever. And I'm like, oh, we only got Ryan Gosling for 50 minutes of the film? Okay. And then we only really get Bradley Cooper for about the same length, and then it kind of passes over to the kids. Which reminds me a lot about the structure of The Devil All the Time, which is widely known as my favorite Netflix original film. If you have not checked it out, I recommend you do. I freaking love it. Not a lot of people do, but I love it. I also love the book, which I've read. It's not on the shelf anymore. Which I read, and it's a brilliant book, so check that out if you're interested, by Donald Ray Pollock. But anyway, the structure is similar in that it kind of passes the story off to different characters when needed. It doesn't feel like we're just bouncing between characters for shits and giggles. It feels like, okay, cool, we are done with this character now. You know what you need to know for this character. Here's another character that is directly influenced by this character, who then is going to influence these other characters, and it's brilliant. I think that the way that the story is structured is freaking awesome, and I feel like it would have been really easy for Hollywood to be like, no, we want this to be interspersed and cut so you could see, Ryan Gosling and Bradley Cooper on screen together. And, I guess the director and the editors were like, no, we're going to do this, because this doesn't happen a whole lot. It does not happen a lot where people allow you to do this kind of thing where it is a straight linear thing, and it doesn't necessarily make sense at times, and I like that. It is a very grounded film as well, which is something you don't get a whole lot, although this is 2012, so I guess around that time you probably did get quite a few grounded films. But anyway, I think it's a really great story. I think that I don't want to go into details with the story because it's spoilery. I just want you to trust me in saying that you should watch it for the story. But the actors are what make this story pop, in my opinion. Particularly Ryan Gosling, Bradley Cooper, and Dane DeHaan. Those three are stellar in this film. I was really skeptical of Dane DeHaan because I've really only seen him in a couple things. I've seen him in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, of course. I watched him in something else. I've seen Chronicle. I liked him in Chronicle. But I've never liked him as, like, just him being an actor. He was brilliant in this film. This is the film that I watched that I realized, oh, he actually knows what he's doing. Like, he's not just, like, fucking around. He knows that he's an actor. Like, whoa, cool. It was really cool to see that. Ryan Gosling is always great. I think this is one of my favorite characters he's ever played, honestly. He's just really freaking cool. He's cool. He's also got this awesome sweet side, you know, which is what Ryan Gosling does well, in my opinion. He just has this, you know, look and feel to him where he's like, we know he's robbing a bank, but he's doing it for his kid, and we kind of like him. It's this weird Walter White situation. I liked it a whole lot. Eva Mendes, also very good in this film. One of my favorite performances of hers, and I've seen quite a few of them by now. Most of them actually recommended to me by my boss. And Bradley Cooper is also very good. I love Bradley Cooper. He's one of my favorite actors working right now. He just always does a really good job performing, and here's no different. It is a lot younger of him, but still, you know, he's there. And Mahershala Ali, I didn't even recognize him. Like, I was like, is that Mahershala Ali? And it is. He looks older, but he was years ago. It's very weird. It's this weird thing. I don't understand it. I'm still trying to understand it, but it's probably the mustache thing. And maybe he lost some weight. Anyway, I think the actors are stellar, and it really serves this awesome story, which I recommend you check out whenever you can. I don't know if it's streaming anywhere, but please try to find it. I'm going to go ahead and give The Place Beyond the Pines an A. Have you guys seen The Place Beyond the Pines? Let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought about it. I really enjoyed it. I hope you guys do too. Let me know. I really want to know what you guys think about this one, because it's a film that I think that some people are really going to not like and some people are really going to like. So let me know what you guys thought. And please consider subscribing if you're not already. That'd be a huge, huge, huge help. It goes a long way, so please consider doing that. If you like what you saw and you want to see more, hit that red button up below the video. And thank you guys so much, and as always, keep watching movies and television, stay educated, and I'll see you guys in the next video.